So we've got that link once again. Thank you so much again, Dr. James. Yes, so UNC gears up for 2025 general election, set to screen candidates soon. UNC Senator Wade Mark making it quite clear there's no vacancy in leadership in the UNC at this time. And the UNC political leader making it quite clear we must remain laser focused on the enemy and not each other. What's your takeaway from that?
Well, it's good political talk. It's not quite unexpected. It's the right thing to say. But to say the right thing is not necessarily to have already said the right thing. You've got to keep saying what you think is the right thing. But we have the rest of the year to determine what the right thing should be, how to fine-tune that right thing. But it's good political talk, but where it's going is not immediately clear.
Yeah. I think if you look at it, you're basically hearing from the UNC that we are going to start putting things in motion. I mean, they've started the walkabouts, interacting with constituents, sending messages to the electorate, getting on the platform, and basically perhaps expecting that this bell may ring before it's constitutionally due. What's your take on that part?
Well, I think that they have been doing that since they became or they remained the opposition in the last general elections. They have been putting things in order. They have been grooming younger politicians for the new responsibilities if the electorate decides to give them a chance. But they have been putting things to place. In place. I think that some of the older folks have been weeded and out of the forefront. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have older folk. I think you should. But I'm just saying what they have done. They have replaced or displaced the older folk with younger guys who are more energetic and so on. So from the beginning they have been doing that. But there has been a heightening of what they are doing now, which has led some to say, well, they are expecting a snap election. That, to my mind, is a misobservation. I don't think that is going to happen. Yeah. I don't think they should behave as if it's going to happen. They're going to run out of steam. You know, there are all kinds of dangers that are going to make themselves available if they run the race too quickly and ahead of time.
What are some of the factors you believe that will prevent a snap election? I mean, there must be some factors that you believe that Dr. Rowley will, of course, take in consideration before or even considering a snap election.
Well, a snap election can come if the Prime Minister thinks that his favorability with the electorate is weak. That can happen. But his favorability has been in question for quite some time. And I think he knows that he's not the most loved of politicians. He might be the firmest, but he's not the most loved. So I don't know that anything has changed in the PNM to make him say, look, let's hold a snap election. And I don't know that the disarray that he has seen amongst the UNC has just started. It's been how he has seen them continues to be how he continues to see them. So the UNC has not undergone any particular transformation in order to give the impression that to the Prime Minister and the PNM, we had better, we have caught them at their lowest ebb here. Let's go hold an election, because they are quite unprepared. But yeah. I don't know when the UNC has been better prepared under Kamla Bissessor. So why is he going to hold a snap election?
And given the time,
his campus, when Manning was there, Manning held the snap election because he had problems within his camp. We are not aware of any problems Rowley might. Not that he doesn't have, but we are not aware of what those might be.
Yeah, but given the time frame, is there enough to bring about any sort of political attractiveness? I mean,
Which time frame are you talking about?
I'm talking about Dr. Rowley, the Prime Minister.
What time frame?
Well, if it's constitutionally due, and let's say that's next year, we're talking months away.
Yeah, that's next year. So we have what? We have 9 months to go. How can a party start campaigning in any vigorous way at least 9 months before the election? How?
You have Dr. Rowley, of course, speaking at one of the PNM meetings, saying that basically this is expected to be the mother of all elections.
Right.
Give us a clear idea as an analyst, what is up for grabs?
So, he has not explained what he means. I don't know. I know what the phrase "mother of all elections" means, right? Something that is an election that will be quite decisive, especially in the context of rising violent crime. And there are many players in the arena who cannot stop pointing out how whatever the government is doing is not really reducing the rate at which violent crimes are being committed. So a mother of all elections in that sense, that one issue of rising violent crime is going to probably break the PNM if the UNC can turn the public mind to the solutions that the UNC has proposed, and the unwillingness, in fact, the refusal of the Prime Minister to meet with the opposition leader on the issue. And remember, the UNC has not been in power. The PNM may argue that, look, we have proposed legislation that they have not assisted. But that's not how it works. When you have the election, you have to barter, you have to sit down and chat and so on. You have to give and you have to take. The UNC did not win the seats it did to give them over to the PNM because of the problem as perceived by either party to be very serious, right?
All right.
So the point I'm making is that if the PNM can sell that idea that the UNC was supposed to help them out in their legislative agenda, if they can sell, I don't think the PNM can sell that idea successfully.
All right. Let me ask you, do you think that the new dynamics would depend on the selection of candidates? Who is selected to represent?
To a certain extent, yes. But then we have to have a sense of the solidness or the lack of solidness of candidates. How do you evaluate candidates in this kind of context, in this kind of, shall we say, situation in which both parties, do we know who the PNM people will be except those who are already holding parliamentary seats and who are part of the cabinet and so on? But they have an advantage there in that sense. We don't know who the Kamala Prasad will choose, and she's got to choose attractive candidates. And I don't know. I don't know who the candidates are going to be. So I have no sense of how to evaluate them. But there is no doubt that they have people who are qualified.
And let me ask you, as far as the 2 seats in Tobago in the upcoming general election, what role does Farley and his team, or Tobago, as the case may be, would expect it to play out in this general election?
Well, first of all, the PNM, if it wants to hold on to power, has to win the 2 Tobago seats. But as you know, the new political outfit in the Tobago House of its Assembly doesn't take too kindly to the Prime Minister. They are locked in a verbal war, as you know, so that the PNM cannot depend on Farley to bail them out. But one may argue that if the Tobago political party if that party is to go and support the UNC, there might be a backlash, right? And there has traditionally been a backlash when the Tobago Afro Party has tried to team up with the PNM, right? And of course, Manning has made that famous statement, we beat them in the east, the west, the south, the north, and so on. And in Tobago, well, in other words, the PNM will fight on its own. There is that kind of culture, if not a whole culture, in the PNM that says we don't want to team up with you. The PNM, by the way, is a party of parties, as you know, right, but it has not attracted any new sub-parties into its fold. So we don't know, but they can't depend on Fali. And Fali and his party are thinking, of course, of winning the seats outright, right? So that they can get into parliament and help affect by the whatever they set out to do in order to win people into the fold. They are not thinking of joining up with the PNM, and I don't know that they can, given the bitterness that has existed between the two leaders and the two factions in Tobago.
Then are we talking then a special accommodation, or is it just going to be the fact of holding their agenda and using that as leverage to negotiate on behalf of the people of Tobago?
Yeah, I think a special accommodation perhaps can happen. The question is who will be the two parties accommodating each other? Will it be UNC and Fali and his group? Will it be Rowley and Fali? It's none of those things look likely here. But you never know with politics. As the moment grows or draws nearer, you probably are going to have a softening of positions and so on. But they have to have enough time to give people, the electorate, the assurance that whatever coalition they come to is credible, because the people are outgrowing the mamagism of political parties. The electorate are outgrowing the attempts by the mainstream parties to win them over. I don't think that is going to come easily because of how matters evolve over time as political parties mature and so on.
Yeah.
It's still race-based, as you know, and it's time that we move ahead from the race-based nature of our politics to a politics in which people are voting on issues, voting on how we might improve this country of ours in political terms, how we can have better governance. The whole question of constitutional reform, which Keith Rowley floated, as you know, recently, the whole idea of constitutional reform, where the governance structure is improved, the whole question of whether Tobago, with the two bills that the government has come up with, has the kind of autonomy that it wants. These are going to be serious issues.
Yeah.
I don't know that the PLM has gained any ground since 2021, December 2021, when the PDP won 13. Is it 13 of the seats or is it 14? Yeah, 14 of the seats.
Yeah, 14 of the seats. Yeah.
At the time.
PLM was able to pull back one.
Yeah, right.
Dr. James,
yes.
I want to thank you so much for taking time out to link with us here this evening. Our time is up, and again, we'll be checking in with you periodically as things unfold. I want to thank you again, and all the best to you, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you.